Good news, ladies and gentlemen. The Mayor of London, Sadiq Khan, is going to be investigated. Yes, over ULEZ. Obviously over ULEZ. Surprise, surprise, the man is a corrupt liar. This is about Sadiq Khan, who has been obviously creating obstacles when it comes to the consultation about the ultra low emission zone expansion. He's been ignoring the concerns of Londoners. He's been ignoring science. He's been putting pressure on scientists with their own research and conclusions and all that, right? And he also has been going around calling people in London who are against ULEZ, calling them far right and this and that and tinfoil hat. Now there's going to be an investigation potentially. That's going to be fascinating. Rory McKenna, who is the monitoring officer, and on this page that we have at the profile, by the way, I love how in the City of London they actually have the salary range of these people as well. Transparency, yay! Anyway, Rory has appointed an independent investigator to look into Sadiq Khan's conduct over the ULEZ consultation. So this was obviously a while ago when the Mayor of London and his office were looking into the consultation of ULEZ, and the result came out and it was very positive. So a lot of people were asking questions saying, I haven't really met anybody in London or Greater London who is a passionate defender of ULEZ. Then we discovered they played around with the result and they cheated on the result of the survey and everything else that they had in terms of the public and the small businesses around London. Somehow there was not enough outrage in the mainstream media at the time. We reported it and some newspapers did. But now there's going to be an investigation, but not just on that, by the way. Firstly, the investigation will also look into Sadiq Khan accusing anti-ULEZ side of being far right, tinfoil hat, this and that, 1930s Germany and everything else. Because he basically was doing that when he was doing one of the question times, mayor's question times in London, and he was very passionate about the fact that anybody who criticizes him or his policy is basically a nutter. Anyway, during their meeting, Mr. Khan responded to heckles from the audience by saying, what I find unacceptable is some of those who've got legitimate objections about ULEZ joining hands with some of those outside who are part of a far-right group. This prompted some audience members to shout back, we are not far-right and normal people are not the far right. Oh yes, we are simply right so far. Anyway, for those of you, in case you haven't, you don't remember what happened during that time, obviously a year ago and a few months ago, there were a lot of discussions inside the chamber in the City Hall, and we had Peter Fortune, as one of the anti-ULEZ assembly members, conservative, who decided to go head-to-head against Sadiq Khan, and they were providing evidence. The man has no idea what he was talking about, the Mayor of London, and so he had to rely on the briefings from his advisors. Let's go to this beauty.
Consultation that we were talking about. Have you been briefed on the contents or the results of that consultation?
No, I haven't been briefed on the contents of that.
You were sitting next to you at the time, if you recall.
I'm being asked my views on what somebody else was thinking, what they said.
So you're not surprised that your Deputy Mayor was briefed on these results, and when he sat next to you in a meeting on the 17th of November and said he hadn't been briefed on these results, you didn't feel the urge to say anything or correct or question that assertion?
It's a ridiculous question.
I don't think it is. It's a ridiculous answer.
But this document obtained by the Tories suggests he was briefed 2 weeks before, when the minutes record he was given the responses to the consultation, including from London boroughs.
In that briefing, you saw the results of the consultation, you were briefed on the inner and outer London responses, you learnt of the deleted 5,000 responses from Londoners. All of these things are in this briefing that you received on the 29th of September. You denied when I asked you about them in October, just a few weeks later. Have you seen or been briefed on the results of the consultation?
No, I haven't.
So, Mr. Mayor, my question is, why did you not tell the Assembly the truth?
The questions you asked are quite clear. The questions you asked were in relation to my involvement during the consultation period, and I was quite clear then, and I'm quite clear now that I wasn't involved in any updates during the consultation period, opening or closing.
I have here the transcript of the 13th of October. Assemblymember Fortune says, Mr. Mayor, at any point did you sit down and have a meeting and somebody said, these are the results that we have at the moment? Sadiq Khan, Mayor of London, no. That's what you said on the 13th of October. Was that correct?
The context is the questions up above. You've got to read the transcript from up above, which
I have the whole
to,
transcript here. Is it correct on the 13th of October that no one had given you the results so far?
So I'm quite clear. During the consultation period, which is what the question was about.
No, on the 13th of October, had you had the results so far? You're trying to answer a different question, and I know why, but had you, by the 13th of October, had a briefing on what the results were so far?
So, as I said, Chair, the question began from the member in relation to my knowledge during the consultation period, the opening and closing, and that was the context of my answers. It is the case that there was...
How is this man a real-life grown-up politician, and how did a lot of Londoners voted for him twice to become a London mayor? It's a fascinating world we're living in. And it's actually, to be fair, I always say, the state of politics and politicians in each country is a mirror held at the people themselves. Even your silence, and obviously people who are actually giving consent by not doing anything about, by not speaking out against the political system, that is a problem. So obviously those of us who are speaking out, those of us who actually try to do something about it, start campaigns, to vote for new parties, we are doing something. But there's a lot of people in the country who have different problems, everyday problems, and by basically staying silent, by continuing to vote for the same people, they are the ones who are encouraging bad behaviour. That's my opinion. Anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.